happy Friday.
Hey
I
guys,
never.
happy Friday.
Hey, Sanjeev. I didn't know if we were gonna make it to Friday. It's been one of those weeks, Derek. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's I'll say this, we move on. So,
Exactly.
I'm just glad to have my coffee, and I say, after a couple weeks everybody, they'll relax and calm down, like, um I'm just glad we ain't got no hurricanes. That's what we really need to be worrying about.
Now, where are you located, Derek?
I am in Minneapolis. Well, actual Maplewood. I'm in Maplewood, Minnesota, so Ramsey County.
Okay, so how far is that from like the center of like the city area?
Well, it's about like a good, it's about 20 minutes. You know,
20 minutes.
I
Okay.
still got family that stays in the city and stuff like that, so they can call me and let me hear all the sirens, that I might miss or whatnot. I'm from that area, so I don't,
Yeah.
I never thought I would actually live in St. Paul. I'm actually shocked. St. Paul was not. I mean, it's the Twin Cities, but
Right.
um, it's a little slower. Just they
Okay.
still got the same stuff going on, so don't be fooled. But it's just a little bit slower, and they don't have as many good
Uh-huh.
places to eat. They just don't. A lot of people in St. Paul would get upset if I said this, but they don't. They don't have as many
They
places
don't.
Minneapolis has to eat. So, like, if you're going to a big concert, Timberwolves games, Twins game, and all of that, you're gonna go to Minneapolis. Although, like, if you see like a Taylor Swift, if somebody like Taylor Swift or I don't know if Kanye comes or something, they might go to the Excel Energy. Um, they might go to the Target Center, but I mean, like people like it might be Taylor Swift or it might be Beyonce or something like that. They might go to like the Excel Energy Center because for some reason maybe it holds more people or something like that. So you know, but mainly all the big stuff. The Mall of America that's in Bloomington. That's Hennepin County. So all the big stuff is out there in the city.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm here across the river from New York City, so I'm in between New York City and New Jersey. So
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna say we don't have good food here because we have a lot of good food here.
I've heard about Jersey. I have yet to be. I went to Boston one time, and I've yet
Okay.
to come to the East Coast. Um,
You have to. You have to make a trip here.
I'm considering. My wife has always wanted to go to New York and stuff like that. It to me, it's too many. When I seen the size of the rats, I was just like, oh, I don't think I could do it. I don't know.
They're they'll no, they're fine. It's fine. It's city life, but it's an experience to say
Yeah,
you've been to New York City,
yeah.
right?
I
So,
think I could go visit. Now, as far as living there, I don't know. If I was filthy rich, maybe,
well,
but even that, I don't know. It's kind of too many people.
that that's the thing. You either love it or you hate it. It's good to live. Either you want to live or you want to just visit. There's no in between. It's
Okay.
one or the other.
I had a cousin that stayed in Jersey. Was it Teaneck? She stayed in
Oh,
Teaneck.
Tina, that's
Yeah.
close to me. I'm in Fort Lee, which is the last exit right before you cross the George Washington Bridge. So I can see right out my window. I could see the whole George Washington Bridge looking
Okay.
out.
Is it true
Yeah,
that it's cheaper over in New Jersey, as far as buying houses, as opposed to New York?
it is. You get more for your money. It's still very expensive, but you get more for your
Okay.
money. You get
Okay.
more space and more, than you
Because
would
I
in New York.
because I seen a house. I was just looking on Zillow one time. Somebody said, "Well, yeah, it's like $5,000 to rent." I said, "Yeah, right." I went on there and looked, and I said, "This is all you get?" And
That's what I'm saying.
somebody from New York told me that you get you'd have to go to like if you want like a house or something, you'd go to maybe Queens, maybe the Bronx. He said is a lot of buildings, and he said maybe Brooklyn, but he said in Manhattan, he said, and he showed it to me. I said 10,000. I said I would never pay $10,000 a month for this, and it was
Oh,
just small, and it was normal. It was like 8 to 10 grand, and I said
yeah.
back home here. I can get a a house that the Timberwolves players live in. For 10,000 a
Yeah,
month, you can literally get maybe 5 to 6 acres and a mansion for 10 grand a month.
exactly.
So
Exactly. Yep. It's a different world, a
yeah,
very different world. So, well, listen, we are excited to have you go in and meet with the team at RBC. I hope you're super excited.
I am.
I know you have been doing a lot of your communication with our wonderful Sanjeev here.
Yes.
I'm not sure if he kind of gave you a background, but I'm actually the account manager. I'm the client relationships manager for the Royal Bank of Canada account. So I always love to come on and just, do a quick interview prep with Sanjeev just to kind of give you another, point of contact as you head into the interview. And both from a client perspective and Sanjeev from a job perspective, kind of put our minds together to what we hope you feel comfortable going into the interview and answer any questions you may have. Um, and just get you ready for the big interview. So
Okay.
thank you for making time for us.
No problem at all.
So some of the things, well, before we start, Derek, do you have any questions that you were wondering about the job or anything? Just let's
Yeah.
start with that.
One of the ones, and I think I was speaking to Sanji briefly about is, I wanted to make sure that it was, a long term, at least, a year or so. And I wanted to make sure it wasn't a situation where I'm going in 3, 4 months down the line, and then they're like, oh well, they're canceling or it's early. I wanted to make sure that it was 12 months or beyond, and things of that nature. That's what I wanted to ensure.
Yep, yep. And from what they're telling us at this point, the duration is 12 months. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat, Derek. I don't know. Have you done consulting work before?
Yeah, yeah, I have. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So you know that they can say it could go 12 months and then something happens, a budget gets cut and it's kind of, but you know what? It's kind of like anything in life right now, right?
Pretty
We
much.
could have a
Yeah.
perm, we could have a permanent job and today and tomorrow they could say, sorry, we're cutting. So again, they're telling us we know it's not, the expectation isn't a 3 month
Hmm.
project. The hope is that it's a 12-month project. So again, I think that's another great question too, that, however you want to verbalize it in a Derek fashion, when you do the interview, you can just say, hey, I'm aware that this is expected to be a 12-month project. Do you feel comfortable that that should still be pretty on point, that it still looks to be 12 months? Is there anything that may cause it not to be? Just out of
Okay.
curiosity.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when I seen the position, and well, let me see if I could pull up the. I'm going to open up my Gmail here. I probably should have had this opened up before with the description and. All right. Let's see. Well, hold on.
I I even have it. I could even pull it up um
Where
on
is
my
it?
screen for you if you want me to share.
I got it. I got it here. So, um, to my knowledge, from what I understand, one more focal question before I go on with the description. Earlier this year, and I asked Sanjeev about it, and he wasn't. I don't think he was quite sure. But earlier this year, I seen this same kind of new hire. Well, what somebody reached out earlier from an agency with the same or similar position, where they said they were dealing with IMAX and moves and stuff like that. Is this a replacement position or is this the same position? And this was around, I don't know, April or May, maybe before that.
Um, and this was with RBC.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Sanjeev, you would know more, in the weeds of this than I would, but our
Mm-hmm.
understanding, Derek, is that this is more of a supplemental, like it's a supplementary role. So they're adding to
Okay,
an existing team type of thing.
okay,
Sanjeev, please chime in if you have anything additional to add to that.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. This is a supplementary role. When I asked the hiring manager that it's a brand new role or it's a backup role, so he told me like it's more of a supplementary role. He said, and it means like it's addition to a new member to the team. They are just extending this role, extending a team member.
okay. Now,
Yeah,
when initially when I talked to you, it seemed like it was more of a like an iMac role. So, and then I seen it says 10 years in a call center environment. Now I got a lot of infrastructure experience, but so is it where you're kind of just at the desk and you're fielding calls, or is it desktop support, or what? What are you? And you're just doing ads, moves, and change. Is it like a mixture, or is it primarily a help desk
yeah.
position?
It's kind of mixture. It's kind of like this is more of a project coordination role for their real estate project, like if including like new locations, renovations, you know and you just have to take care of their technical and equipment deployment, troubleshooting,
So,
those kind of
Oh,
yeah,
stuff.
okay,
so basically it involves the equipment, if there's new hires or
Right.
they need to refresh the desktops or the laptops, if there's a new location that's opening, if they're renovating or they're relocating, or they're closing. This is what a big portion of what this role is going to be. Obviously, in addition to the technical support,
Mm-hmm.
and assistance to employees. I think that's pretty fair to say, right, Sanjeev?
Yeah, absolutely right.
okay.
Um, okay, so sorry, go ahead. Does that kind of help answer somewhat, Derek?
Yeah, yeah. I was just kind of kind of just going through, just so I kind of get an understanding of what their expectations were in terms of tech support. So it's break fix, but mainly you're saying it's deployment, installing the laptops, setting up the monitors.
A little bit of everything, right, Sanjeev? There's the call center management piece of it, but then there's
Yeah,
the
it's
also
it's a it's a
equipment
mixed
part
kind
of
of.
it.
Yeah, as you
Yeah.
said, Derek, it's a mixed kind of role, like desktop support and troubleshooting and deployment and such kind of stuff.
Okay.
And I think, we're going to send you, we have like a prep sheet that we put together, and some questions, and I'm sure it seems like you've already, thought of some really great questions. And this is really great. The questions that you're asking us, and we're kind of building it based off of our knowledge from what, we've gotten from the client. But these are great questions to, when you meet with, you're meeting with Troy. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, since they're adding a supplementary role to this department, like, I would ask, like, hey, is there a big project that's happening? Is there like, what made you all want another additional support person? And also for 12 months. Like, to me, that means that they have some big project. There's
Hmm.
something happening, and you want to, and ask, like, okay, well, where are we at with that project?
Okay.
What are the expectations in the first 30, 60, 90 days for, the person that's going to be joining the team? What would be the starting point, or what's the bulk of what the department's doing? Would you say it's 50-50, like 50, the distribution of equipment, or is it more 60-40 call center and distribution? Like, I mean, I think these are very relevant questions to ask. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Yep.
Um, I'm trying to think. I always have here on the list too team dynamics, to better understand what's the dynamic, how many people, what's the flow. I mean, you could speak to obviously because some of the key things that they're looking for is the team does a lot of project coordination. So because I would speak to whatever experience you can to, kind of interject what experience you have with, projects coordination
Kind
within
of like the
within this
desktop
area.
team lead, like my experience when I was with AIG, desktop team lead.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. Speak to that, how you filtered and managed, whatever was coming into the call center, just to show your and you have a great personality, I can tell, and a great way of communicating with people, and that's key to get across, especially in a help support role, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Now,
so focus on, go ahead.
and then uh the hybrid aspect. Um,
Yes.
I was told
They
that it's
said
primarily on site.
Yeah, primarily on site with some at home work. So this is what I always say, Derek, is with this hybrid world that we're living in, is that the manager gets to know a person's work style, right? And they
Mhm.
can see what they're giving, right? Where they may initially say, okay, Derek, we want you in 4 days a week or 3 days. And then they may be like, you know what? We he's good. Look, he could work, 2 days on site, 3 days from home. So I think it's gonna be one of those, and you're more than welcome too to ask, like if they have, a preference, like to start. Well, are they thinking 3 days? Because they didn't really specify the exact amount of days, Sanjeev, right?
Yeah, and yeah, sometimes he mentioned Troy mentioned that sometimes he needs like after hour work as well, like if such kind of situation that candidate has to be aware, like after our work, it might need it, not every day, like
No, no.
occasionally he mentioned. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, and maybe there's a big project going on or something, and they have a
right.
deadline because it's an office opening or an office closure or something like that. Trust
Hmm.
me, I've just went through one myself, and it's like when they want you out, everything needs to be out, and when they want that office set up, they want it set up,
Yeah.
So it could be, along those lines, which I'm thinking you're kind of familiar with there, because
Yeah.
when it comes to IT and things not working, the world stops, right? The world stops, everything stops.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. I've
Yeah.
experienced in that, and I do have quite a bit experience with the insurance world. The Travelers
Okay.
Insurance, the AIGs, Blue Cross Blue
Yeah.
Shield. I pretty much handled a lot of their migrations here in the Twin Cities. So very
Perfect.
familiar with that. And most of my recent
Perfect.
work has been, you know, business system analysts and things of that nature for like healthcare, and then
Yep.
even having experience with Wells Fargo. I don't talk about that a lot, but that was a recent experience I've had. So I do have
And that
ample experience with the financial sector.
and that's great because and to kind of filter that in be, because obviously Royal RBC is finance, right?
Right.
So we know that dealing with certain people in certain industries, for example, I come from a fashion background before I started to do this job.
Hmm.
So the way I speak to people maybe in my days of fashion is not the same way I would communicate with people in financial
Right.
services, let's just say, right? So it's like knowing your audience,
Right.
which is going to be a big key to this role. Not only knowing the technical piece, but also the communication piece.
Now the weekend
Um,
work, is there weekend work involved?
Sanjeev, I don't. I don't
He
believe
didn't
I.
mention that. Yeah, he didn't mention about
He
wicked
didn't.
work. Yeah, he did not mention that.
Okay.
Then Sanjeev, are you sick? You sound. Are you sick?
Yeah, I have called.
Oh, I was gonna say I didn't talk to you today. Sorry, Derek. I'm used to Sanjeev being much, you know, jovial. No
Oh, no,
wonder.
no problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Um.
I'm looking at the
All right.
address right
So
now. Nicollet
what
Mall,
else? Yeah, it's 11th floor.
250 Nicollet. Let me. I'm just gonna pull up the Google Map real quick. I'm familiar with Nicollet Mall, but I haven't. Let me see. I wonder what 250 Nicollet Mall. What building is that? Because I see the library down there. I should be able to figure it out. This is old from. Wow, this is from 2009. Okay, that's an old picture. Uh,
I wish I could tell you, but I
yeah, it's kind
I
of by the
can't
old
say I've
library.
ever.
Yeah, it's by the old library.
Jersey girl over here is not quite sure. I could tell you where the Empire State Building is, but
RBC Wealth Management Branch. Let me see if I can. I want to see if they could just show me a picture. I'm looking for a picture so I can just real quick get an idea of the building.
visually.
Cause yeah, cause the building. Well, let's see. Why doesn't it show me? Yeah, it's showing something located in 60 South 6th Street. Okay, that makes more sense. So that doesn't really give me much information. Well, oh, then why would that be on Nicollet 250 Nicollet Mall? Something doesn't make sense. Oh, let's see. I haven't been down. I have not been downtown in years. I mean, like actually just walked around downtown. It's been just me walking around downtown. I have not been downtown Minneapolis since it's at least been 6 years. It's
Oh
at least
boy.
yeah. It's at least been 6 years because I guess with the traffic and stuff like that, I just never had a desire to go.
Uh-huh.
I
Well,
guess I don't
well
know.
now you'll be doing a new experience, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I remember I used to have a lot of projects down there. Like even when I was like coming in initially for my the start of my career, I did work downtown at different times. Especially like doing like migrations and things of that nature. I did work downtown before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm sure you'll be able to find your way. Um, I'm trying to think here, Sanjeev. Some other things we like kind of wanted to highlight, Derek, is skills and competencies. They were call center management system, Windows XP, Vista 2000. Um, what else here?
Vista.
Cross, huh?
They still use Vista?
I don't know. They have
Oh.
it listed here, Sanjeev. Maybe you could answer
Okay.
more.
All right.
But they also have 2000 and LAN and WAN. These are all like out of my wheelhouse.
Windows
What do you
2000. I haven't seen that in 15 to 20 years. That's insane.
Windows XP and then
Okay.
Vista. What's the current one that you use the most?
Well, the current one is 10 and 11. I haven't seen XP. I've seen it maybe in a virtual machine over the last couple of years, but you still have a lot of companies that they're not supposed to be on it, but they're on it because there's old applications, so they have to virtualize XP. So you might pull up an old VM and they got XP behind a firewall. It's not, it,
Well,
yeah, it's not something that's recommended, but they still do have it.
what's interesting is, and I probably shouldn't say this, but we place contractors in different areas of RBC, like,
Okay.
whether they're recruiters or business analysts, whatever. But it's hysterical because you would think these big banks would be the most advanced,
They're not.
but they're really not.
They're 20 to
Really not.
25 years behind, and they get
Exactly.
they have this model where if it works, well, it's efficient, and that's no,
Exactly.
that's
Don't
not
fix
how
what's
it
not
should.
broken, right?
But they figure, well,
Yeah.
so sometimes they're willing to pay a little bit more for vulnerability patches to Microsoft. A lot of people don't know this, but XP is quote unquote not supported for me and you, but you have a $1 billion company that says, all right, look out. Microsoft's going to do it.
Yeah.
They don't never tell people this, and most people don't know this. But Microsoft, the stuff that me and you would say, well, hey, I got XP, I got an old XP disk. They're just going to tell you we don't support it, throw it away. But a bank like this, they'll support them. They got
Yeah.
patches and hot fixes and stuff for them. They'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Um, Yeah, so, and basically just highlighting your troubleshooting and how to break things that break and fix and how to fix it, resolving technical issues. Sorry, another call's coming in here for me. Writing instructions or editing technical memos, technical operation manuals. Does this all sound like
oh
things
yeah,
that you can easily speak to? Okay,
yes,
good, good,
yes.
good. I mean, and that's it. We're gonna send this over to you. What Sanjeev and I prepared, like we always say, you're meeting with Michael Abbott, but he goes by Troy. Sanjeev, his name is Michael, but he goes by Troy.
Yeah, I
Sanjeev, are you
guess
there?
so because
Yeah.
but the thing is I got confused because Michael bought I was looking for on LinkedIn, but I didn't get that. And Troy is there. And when I had a discussion with Troy, when I joined that call, Troy was
Oh,
there. But the
yeah.
thing is, Troy is in Canada. Troy is in
Oh,
Canada. So
okay.
Dustin, Derek, once you will reach 250 Nicolette Mall, you will have to call Dustin. His number is listed in that email, right? Interview email. His number is there. You will
Okay,
have to call him. Dustin will be the contact person. He will let you know like where you will have to go. And might be Troy will join through Webex there, and Dustin
okay.
So,
will be there.
so who's
Mhm.
Justin? Who's Justin Sanjeev?
Like we don't know about that because on that call only Troy was there.
Okay. So, but he'll be doing the in-person interview with like this Justin person, and then they're going to connect with Troy.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
But if Derek will get selected, Derek will report to Troy.
Yeah. Who
He
will be
will
sitting in
virtually, yeah, yeah. He is in
Canada?
Canada.
I
Yep,
Yeah.
have I have one
They
other
have a lot of
question.
this. Yep. Go
yep.
ahead,
Um,
Derek.
what is the did they ever say what the learning curve and the training would be in this position?
Yeah, training program is there for like 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, they will give you some training and when I was on call, they mentioned that training will include like how to set up and deploy end user equipment as well as the coordination of real estate project. So that training should take around like 2 to 4 weeks. So training is there
Okay. And how soon are they looking to start this project, this contract?
immediately. Immediately, they are looking for a candidate who can join them immediately.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and just a few last minute things that, well, more like my it's more like my pep talk, Derek, is
Mhm.
I always say, remember, you're interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you. Okay?
Right.
So
Right.
we want to make sure that when you go through this interview, you get your questions answered, and that you get we want to make sure that you feel comfortable if this were, to progress to an offer. So again, have your questions. I can tell you have a lot, which is great. Um, and just be yourself. And the other thing I always like to say is we get that life happens and things happen. So if anything happens between now and the interview where you're not going to be able to make it, or you decide not to move forward with the interview or that, just please give Sanjeev and I a heads up, because we have the relationship with the client, which we don't want to do anything to tarnish that
Yeah.
relationship, which I'm sure you can understand. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And one other more confirmation. The rate is 39 an hour, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And Vaco, it's Vaco would basically be the employer for me.
exactly. We would be your employer.
Okay.
And then so we would do all your onboarding, everything would be through Vaco. You would be paid by Vaco. Um, and then, you would be on project with RBC
Okay. And you guys are basically, you guys are you guys bi-weekly? Is that how you guys work?
biweekly. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
We're biweekly. Um, if you were, to get the position, you would be available to have benefits.
Mhm.
There's medical, dental, vision. You can contribute to a 401k. You can contribute to an HSA account. Um, so there's a lot of, it would be just like you're coming on as an employee. But again, there's nuances because of of being a contractor. So, there's no PTO. There's holiday pay. You have to reach 2,000 hours to order it. We call it like a retention bonus. So it's kind of like when you hit that threshold, then you get retention bonuses. You would be able to qualify for holiday pay and so on and so forth. So that's usually about a year into the project, that that would be available to you. But
Okay.
yeah, it's bi-weekly. I'm trying to think of what else. Anything else?
Um, I think that's about it. I think that's about it.
Okay. All right. Well, Sanjeev, you'll send this over to Derek before the weekend, so you can prepare and ask us any questions. And Derek, again, between now and the interview, if you think of anything, Sanjeev's gonna include my contact information as well. But please, by all means, we're here to answer, any questions you may have. And I wish you all the best. I think you're gonna do great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you, Sanjeev.
All right. All
Thanks,
right.
Derek. And I will give you a follow-up call on Tuesday before interview. Okay.
Okay.
Just
Sanjeev will give you.
yeah, I'll give you a follow-up call.
We,
And once we're done with the interview, you can give us a head up so we can get back to the client and get the feedback. Okay.
Okay.
yeah. So after your interview, we can all connect. Maybe we can schedule a time. We'll just all hop on a quick call and just kind of debrief. Get your thoughts and feedback if it's, something you still want to keep pursuing and going through the process. And that way I could get some information and I could go back and push the client as well to, you know, see see what information I could get to get it moving along.
Okay. That'll work.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, you have a fabulous weekend, and it was a pleasure meeting you, Derek.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, have a good weekend, Senji. Feel better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take care,
Absolutely.
Sanjeev. Drink some tea.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Derek. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
there was a little lag. There was a little bit of lag in Teams, and I think it could be my Wi-Fi. I don't know. I gotta hit the road, y'all. I'm gonna upload this. I'm kind of um really, really, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm a little iffy about it and whatnot, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, y'all. We'll see what happens.